close. Okay, get my. How about we take refuge and set our intention for recognizing Bodhicitta as it really is. Please feel free to say whatever you do for refuge or join me. I've had a lot of requests for copies of what I say, so shoot me an email if you want it. With the wish for all beings to be free, free of the constriction and contraction of held belief systems and thought patterns, free of the automatic reactivity of held emotional patterns, and free of the isolation and suffering of distorted perceptions. I will always go for refuge to alive, vibrant, radiant, spacious awareness until awareness is ongoing, like the flow of a river. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the presence of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, of any lineage or none, and any time or beyond time, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all beings. As long as space remains, as long as beings remain, may I manifest in such a way to ease and dispel the miseries in the universe. I just have been struck lately with how the self-focus that so many of us have hurts us in two ways. Well, probably in a lot more ways than that. One way is with our constant chasing, as the Dalai Lama would say, chasing to try to be happy, to try to get what we want, to try to get rid of what we don't want. We're inward turned in a way that causes us to miss the connection with all beings, all of us doing the very same thing. It is like the image that I was given of the hungry ghost realm, where there are countless beings around a tremendously large table, and the table is loaded with food. And the only way they have of getting the food is with an extremely long spoon. The trouble is, they're trying to get the food for themselves, but they can't turn the spoon. It's too long. They can't turn it around to feed themselves. And that's the image that sticks with me sometimes. It would have been so simple if we aren't quite so self-focused, tightly focused, to get what we want. That all the hungry ghosts needed to do was feed each other, to realize everybody had the same problem. So it's not a matter of ignoring ourselves. And this is what Chenrezig's about. Have you had those moments where it just feels, I don't know why my thing beeps like that sometimes, where everything just seems you're actually not even noticing, perhaps. But you find that you're looking back when it stops, which it always does. You were utterly content. There wasn't anything that needed to change. Perhaps you felt a great deal of relaxation, like, ah. And then we go chasing that again. The second way it appears to me that it hurts us, and I'm sure there are many ways, is that by that narrow focus, instead of being able to open to everything around us, just even with our sense organs, can we open our vision without looking around, naming everything? The automatic thing that you may have to concentrate to notice, because we don't often put words to it. It's just a habit of attaching like, don't care. Yeah. And we miss so much of what's around us, trying to get rid of what we don't want without just noticing, just letting things interact with our eyes again and again. Same with our ears. How fast does the like, dislike, don't care get applied to? And not even, as I said, not necessarily consciously at all, not with words. How often does it get applied to sound, every sound? Emma Chodron does a funny story about, I think up in her abbey in, I think it's Nova Scotia, I might have that wrong, sitting in a group of people in a room, and there's this noise that keeps happening. And at the time, she's finding she's irritated with it, as though it's water dripping. Again, it's the idea of the story. I'm not sure I have all the facts straight. And afterwards, when people talk, or perhaps it happens to her in that moment first, she goes, oh, perhaps that's the radiators clicking. The radiators that are giving us heat because it's like really, really cold up in there in the winter. And all of a sudden, that very same noise is not irritating at all. It actually feels pretty good. It's like, oh, that's the heat working. Exact same noise. Like, don't like, based on our story about it. And that happened all around the room, evidently. About half the people were irritated with the noise. About half the people heard it as the heat working and were thrilled. Same noise. So much of our energy goes to grabbing onto what we like, pushing away what we don't like. And actually takes a lot of energy to ignore so much that we ignore, doesn't it? So why don't we kind of start a more traditional, well, we'll see what happens. Let's just start. Often it's taught, as Lama Lena received this from Lama Yeshe, Tupten Yeshe, with an image of a lotus, which if you've been around Tibetan Buddhism very long, it's a big deal. And I believe mostly the symbol is a plant that grows out of the absolute muck, yuck, stinky, gassy muck at the bottom of a lake and rises up And nothing, when it blooms, nothing sticks. The yuck just runs off of the lotus. And it is this absolutely beautiful flower. In other words, out of the muck has arisen this. I don't want to kill the image too much. Enjoy it as you wish. And in this case, that lotus that has arisen is sitting in our heart chakra, or in our heart. Let's not get all tied up in where that may be. Many of you have experienced, if not all, a moment of something that is indescribable. We can try, like a warm waft, a feeling of, before it's described, there are no words for it. Almost immediately when we have that sensation, we grab onto it. Say, oh, I'm loving my partner. I'm loving my baby. I, once again. But if we are able to relax in openness as that sensation runs through us, could be in the heart area. Sometimes they can't locate it at all. It's just everywhere. But that's in looking after, in the moment of that sensation. If we are not self-focused and describing, if the describer, it is quiet for a second before we try to do something with it. If we catch that second with openness, no describer, you'll notice in that feeling there is no I and you. That is one of our conceptual oopses that we put on it. Then we get mad at whatever we felt that with that doesn't continue to give us that sensation. Ah, well, if only they'd put the top on the toothpaste then, or if only my baby would start, with great heartedness. If they just stopped puking all over me, it would really help. I'd get back to that wonderful feeling. Ah, if only my dog would stop peeing on the wall. Whatever it is, everybody finds something in another being that is irritating at times. But before all of that goes on and we start to grab and we separate, if we can develop a habit of just resting there when that sensation arises, doesn't even arise really as a sensation. Have your own experience. There is no sense of duality. There is no need to do anything at all. It doesn't even occur to do something for that first instant before our habit of grabbing on kicks in. And there is no sense of time. That's what I have found in the being able to rest in the experience. And on a broader sense, over time, we may start to realize that that refuge is always present. The minute we grab and try to make it happen, it's gone. We've created the very duality that separates us from everything. So resting again and again by finding the stimuli that kind of help us. Chenrezig being the symbol in Tibetan Buddhism. The symbol of absolute open-hearted, open-minded, timeless. If I use the word love, it's sticky, attached, unattached, unconditional. no word. For others of us, can arise after a day's hike. We're at the top of the mountain. The sun is setting. We have a comfortable place to sit. Everything is just as it should be. And we watch that sunset and we're just overwhelmed. Or not even that description. I'll take the descriptive words off. Perhaps it is a kitten or a puppy or a baby in a given moment. Perhaps for you it's music or dancing or the timeless kinds of creativity of writing poetry without thinking about it. It'd be different for all of us. Without grasping, we can visualize the lotus as a 1,000-petaled blossom made of light in our heart. In the remembrance or the feeding or nurturing of that lotus with anything that arises in this moment as a memory or in our imagination of being utterly loved or having that experience which we've attached to something outside of us. Doesn't matter, it's the same sensation. We're the ones that create the duality. And as we water that lotus, if you will, with that memory or image or imaginary picture, that lotus, which for most of us is somewhat closed in a wish to protect ourselves from being hurt. We've all been hurt. We've all experienced what we labeled as hurt. And that lotus gets a little cautious, doesn't it? Closes up. So with this nurturing or watering that lotus, with this experience we are calling up, the lotus can relax and open into its natural essence, natural shape. And we notice in the center of that lotus 6 petals of different colors, light, all kinds of different descriptions of what those petals represent. But for today, we'll just see 6 different colors of light in those petals. I was looking around for a picture to give you the colors, but don't have them in my mind. On each of those petals sits one of the syllables of the mantra. Ah, thank you. That's lovely. Now visualize it very small in the center of the lotus if you want to. Thank you, Boone. For some, the colors and their meanings are very important. For others of us, they don't really matter very much. Follow your path. On each of those petals in the center rests one of the syllables of the mantra. The mantra is simply being the sounds that have been repeated for hundreds of years. The sound of open-hearted, open-minded, unlimited, unbounded. I'll leave the name out, label out. The mantra of Chenrezig, the visual symbol of what we're pointing at. And if you'll repeat 3 times after me, we'll do the mantra together. Traditionally Tibetan, giving the lung. And they Mantra goes Om,
Om,
Ma,
Ma,
Ni,
Ni,
Pe,
Pe,
Me,
Me,
Hung.
Hum.
As you say that mantra, let the wind start down in the secret chakra, the home of, if you will, the symbol of. I have no idea. Hang on, so sorry. I'll make it be quiet. There we go. Down in the secret chakra, where the symbol of Tara, the generator of movement that started all manifestation, sometimes referred to the mother of all arisings, of all life. And allow the air, the winds from which you're going to say the mantra, to arise deep, low in your body, rising up your channels, central channel if you want, passing each of the chakras, passing the navel chakra, the energy generator, fire, passing the heart chakra, white, symbol of water, passing the speech chakra, golden color, symbol of earth, through the crown chakra, symbol of sky space, beautiful deep blue. And as the air rises, we try again, a second time with the mantra repetition. Om, Ma, Ni, Pe, Me, Hung. Om Mani Padme Hung. We can feel the sensation of vibration as we say that mantra. The sound coming out our mouth, and notice, is that sound, are you hearing it inside or outside? Can you even separate that? You can hear it with your ears. You can also feel it and hear it within you. And out it goes into the universe, touching all beings. Where does sound start, truly, and where does it end? We stop hearing it in a short time, perhaps. We now know about light rays and sound rays. The sound wave may carry far, far out into the universe. Om Mani Padme Hum. It's suggested in this practice that you continue to say the mantra quietly, but that you move air over your speech chakra. So we can say it quite quietly. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. And as we do that, as this is taught, the 6 inner petals of light start to turn clockwise if you're Buddhist, traditionally, counterclockwise if you follow Bon, not separate traditions. And the light from those 6 different petals, which represent all light in the universe, start to blend together. And as they blend, as happens organically when you put all light together, becomes white. And those petals extend into rays of white light, not spotlight static like it seems like a flashlight might be, or a powerful spotlight, but vibrant, rich, alive, you might even say sparkly rays of light. And those rays touch all the petals, the rest of the 1,000 petals within the lotus, causing them to elongate into rays of light. Rays of light carrying the sound of the mantra. Rays of light carrying the vibration of sound and light. 1,000 rays extending out into the universe, radiating out, touching 1,000 beings. There's no limit to where those rays reach. To the past, present, future, imaginary time. No limit in space, as far as your imagination reaches. Rays of warm, conscious light reach to the edge of the universe, beyond the edge of the universe, into the multiverse. And as those 1,000 rays touch 1,000 beings, size is not an issue, micro. Perhaps one of those rays reaches cells in your body. Perhaps one of those rays touches something so big we can't imagine it and we can't see it. Butterflies, rhinoceroses, fairies and elves. No limits. And as those rays, each of them touches a being, their heart is nourished and fed and can completely relax and open. And the same thing happens within 1,000 beings' heart. Sound of the lotus, sound of the mantra, light of the ray, until their hearts completely open. and rays radiate out, touching 1,000 beings. Some of those rays coming back and touching your heart again, feeding it, nurturing it again. On certain days, your rays may need to reach out to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of any time as an offering, touching their hearts and allowing their rays to fill your heart. Some days you may feel quite full and want those rays to touch 1,000 beings who are suffering, allowing them a moment of rest and relaxation. You don't have any need to specify anything. Allow the rays to go, not to individuals that you think of. Again, the non-intrusive practice of Lama Lena, but classes of beings if you choose. Om Mani Padme Hum. And as those now 1,000 rays touch 1,000 beings, allowing those 1,000 beings to relax, their heart open into its natural essence, represented by the lotus. 1,000 rays of light touching, interacting with 1,000 beings. You may have a sense of mantra, the sound of mantra vibrating through all those beings, perhaps like a web of sound. You may have an experience of almost like touch, feeling the vibration of life, radiance of light, touching all the beings, including yourself. Or you may have a visual web of light, sometimes described, but experienced as interconnected, like a spider web. And wherever there's a little node is a being that is under the illusion that they're independent individuals. Yet here's this interconnected web. You may choose when you're doing this on your own to rest here. Right here in the true nature of Nirmanakaya, a name, one of the aspects of heart-mind, never separate from the other. And some days, perhaps your heart just breaks open as you realize how few of us experience this interconnectedness always present. We feel lonely and isolated. We take actions to try to get rid of that. And the refuge is always present. As we continue, and the rays of light continue to open hearts, minds, allowing the complete relaxation so that more rays of light more sounds of mantra, more shared vibration of life, extends into the universe until there is no thing but light. Infinite light, sound vibration. We are not looking at that light. There is no separation. We are that light, as is every other being, non-dual, non-separate, the very heart of aliveness. If you are lucky enough to fall in as that light, you will not notice until you pull yourself out. And yet there is awareness, just not self-focused awareness. Where termas arise from, where omniscience arises from. You will come back into your own patterns, promise. You'll get hungry, the phone will ring, you'll have to pee. And when you do, you'll try to describe what happened to yourself. And you'll be unable to. But you might notice an absolute timeless quality. You have no idea how much time has gone by. You may have experienced a shift in how you perceive everything around you. Try not to grab. It is our habit. Again, traditionally, at this point, we would bring all the rays of light that we sent out. Allow them all to come back into our heart, our lotus. Let them come back into the very center of the lotus, where sits another seed syllable representing what's being pointed at, open-heartedness. The symbol of Chenrezig, seed syllable of Chenrezig. Hri, H-R-I. Very small in the center, very center of the heart or lotus. And all the light rays that have reached to the edge of the universe come in, come back into that very small syllable, compacting into it. Until in a second, the Hri dissolves. And you are vast, timeless, unlimited, spacious awareness. You are the beginning and end of time. You are that which is beyond time. You with the dance of radiant aliveness. Are the source of all movement. And yet no thing moves. Can't fit that into intellectual understanding. Beyond concept. Even though we try to put descriptive words. From where you arose and from where you will dissolve. From where you will dissolve to. Where you've never left. Where no thing was ever born and no thing ever dies. Home, perhaps. Unmoving, indescribable. The refuge called Dharmakaya. Just a name. And you take refuge in the true nature of your own heart mind. The true nature of all beings. And the movement, all form, is this vast, indescribable, unlimited, no words. And that very vast, unchangeable, unmoving, unlimited spaciousness is the movement. And your very alive awareness is what can notice both. what moves and what doesn't move. And you are that. The three kayas, never separate, themselves dependent on each other, interdependent. You, I'm going to leave you right there with a traditional dedication of whatever merit. May all beings have an opportunity, in whatever way touches their heart mind, to recognize what we all truly are. May the countless veils that hide this from us fall away for all beings in their own time, in their own way. May all beings be free. What a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you so much.